straight like we always do at this time. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, yeah. We ready, y'all. Trump, Epstein baited and tricked Mar A Largo Spa workers. That's going to be really interesting to get into. How you guys doing this morning? I'm doing fantastic. I see you up in the building, Mark. I see you, Liberty, Sky. I see you, Gonzalez, Batty Lynn, Casey. How you doing this morning? Y'all see that those comments are starting to roll pretty fast now. So I'm going to have to start saying what's up to y'all pretty early because by the time we break in, it's already stacked on the deck. But that's good. That means that we got a lot of people interested and they ready. Let's see if he is. We're ready. I promise you we are. Bling, bling, bling. We ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. Time to start the show. Bling, bling, bling. I'm ready, you know. Bling, bling, bling. Time to start the show. Bling, bling, bling. They ready to go. Bling, bling, bling. Co-host with the flow. Bing, bing, bing. Can you just go? Bling, bling, bling. Do, do, do. Anytime you're ready now, because it's 6 o'clock. I swear it is. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. Bling, bling, bling. Anytime you're ready, y'all. Yeah. One more time. And open up those paws, open up those paws, and open up those paws. And cash rules. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, y'all. I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job, ass second hand. Moms bounced on old man. So then we moved to Shaolin land. That's right. Give it up for the woo. That's how they do that, right? They do that symbol like that, right? Y'all know why I'm turned up though, right? Cause if pump that beat. It's Thursday the 31st. That's right, y'all. It's 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this is our bottom line. Where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that. Where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me lit. That's right, y'all. I got more for y'all. Tell y'all the truth. The real reason I'm turned up right now, because even before you guys came on, I counted all episodes. And guess what? This will be our bottom line's 299th episode. That means tomorrow when I press that button, I'll be pressing the button for the 300th time for this show. That's right, y'all. Who we got up in the building this morning? We got Mark Dorfman up in the building. We got Batty Lynn up in the building. Casey, Natalie, what's up? Casey saying what's up to Natalie. We also got Chad C up in the building. Haven't seen you for a while. We gonna get guys okay, I see what you're saying. We got Batty Lynn. That's right, 299 episodes, y'all. We done pressed that button 299 times. Next time we press that button, it will be our 300th episode. I said, wait a minute. I counted it like 4 times. I said, are y'all sure? Are you sure we did this 299 times? After the last time I counted it, you can't, the numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. Welcome to our bottom line. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always told y'all could have went anywhere, but the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. Today we have such a smorgasbord of things going on. We've got information on, of course, Donald Trump. We've got information on, that's right, you see her over there, right? And she's on the other side. Let me tell you something. If there's anybody from the Beehive over there today, I don't want no drama because we got a lot going on, y'all. We got a lot going on. So yes, I want you guys to do your boy a favor. I want you guys to stay on topic. Do your boy that favor. Do me a favor. I'm going to do I got 5 on on it, that means I stack the deck with 5 videos, and then I come to the comments to see what you guys have to say. Only thing I ask is that please try to stay on topic and let me know where you're chiming in from, and let me know what time it is, because I love to know what time it is and what city, state, or country that you're chiming in from. We're going to turn up today, you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm ready to get to work. We got over the heat wave yesterday. It was burning up in here. Tell you the truth, it's always hot in this room because we got a bunch of lights. But you know what? I'm the type of person that likes to leave it on the field. And with that being said, I got a full clip and I'm ready to do what? Let's get into these titles. That's right. We have Trump. Epstein baited and tricked Mar A Largo Spa workers. Yes, we have the clip where President Donald Trump is saying, look, this is the reason why I no longer dealt with Epstein. I told him one time, stop trying to steal my workers. Told him again, and after that, I no longer dealt with him. I got the clip from his mouth to your ears, right? That's how we always like to do it over here, to make sure we get it straight from the horse's mouth. So let's go, guys. Let's keep on moving. What else we have here? We have ding, 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 ding. P. Diddy, he makes a desperate plea to get out of jail due to conditions and more. Before, P. Diddy was offering $1 million as far as bail is concerned, you guys. Guess what? I guess he's putting his money where his mouth is, because he's taking that up a lot. And he's now offering $50 million for bail because he's looking at it like this. It's only the Mann Act. It's not anything bad. I don't have any criminal charges on me. Nothing with GUNs or D-Rugs or whatever. Plus, I'm doing all these programs. And yes, we got the information on the programs and why he's doing the programs. And last but not least, we have the father. That's right, the father of a Jacksonville rapper, who's testifying that his son is the person seen pow-powing a man in an ambush. Yes, this guy's father is telling it all. He's Tekashi 6ix9ine and he don't care. He's trying to get a break in his own time. So without any further ado, because I've got so much to give to you, I've got one clip with 10 breakdowns in it, 10 timestamps. Why did I do that to myself? You know why? Because if I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna go to work the right way, and I'm gonna leave it all on the field. And why not the best time, let it be today on our 299th episode. So let me get into it. Without any further ado, let me go ahead and let you guys in on some information right now that we have from our president. This is basically Trump criticizing the Fed renovations. He's talking about the project, but he also says he does not feel it's necessary to fire Jerome Powell. There's a lot of people on both sides that have a lot of pushback about the amount of money that's being spent on this renovation right here. But I guess once he went there and saw what was going on, once you're inside of something so far, you have to complete it or you just throw everything away. And why get that far and not just get it done? Let's go ahead and keep it moving, you guys. Let's go. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good morning. It's your boy BOOGOTTINYC, and this Our Bottom Line.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And it feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site.
Did you see mismanagement going on or funds that aren't?
Well, I see a very luxurious situation taking place. Let's put it that way. When you open up a basement, first of all, it's the worst space. Always a basement is the worst space in a building. And it's also the most expensive space to build. And especially here because you have a water line. You know, they're going down into the water, so they have to build what's called a reverse bathtub. The water has to be kept out. It's very expensive construction. So it would have been good if they didn't build it. Would have been good if they didn't do certain other things. But look, there's always Monday morning quarterbacks. I don't want to be that. I want to help them get it finished. It's been going on for years, and I want to help them get it finished. And what we really want to do, and I think I can speak for Tim, and I think I can speak for the entire Senate, we can speak for everybody, frankly, is we want to see interest rates come down.
Mr. President, if the rates are hurting families in the country, why let that keep going for another 8 months? Why not just fire the chairman now?
Because to do that is a big move, and I just don't think it's necessary. And I believe that he's going to do the right thing.
Do you
You have anything in mind?
Yes, this is an older clip, but I wanted to break it down because a lot of people didn't know what was going on with that. And yes, yesterday we had pushback from the Senate, Congress, that's actually trying to put paperwork in about this situation right there. Yes, now let's move forward because now we're talking about Trump making a deal with China. Everybody here has always been interested in tariffs. I myself personally am as well. Want to know what's going on at the supermarket. Tired of a 50 cents bag of potato chips, being $2.50. What's going on now? Make potato chips affordable again is what I say. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got to get into this, talking about this deal with China. I hope it's closed.
Now that President Trump's locked up several massive trade agreements, the administration says the rest of America's key trading partners want to get on that action, hoping to sign deals ahead of Friday's tariff deadline.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick telling Bret Baier it's up to President Trump to take the next step.
The president's going to decide, look, this is how I want to play it. He may entertain a few more deals, or he may decide, you know what, I'm just going to set the policy going forward. But by the end of this week, they will all be set.
Okay, Edward Lawrence had a flow chart on this thing about a year ago, live in the White House now. Give us the news. What's up, Edward? Good morning.
Yeah, it seems the United States on a hot streak, like the weather here, Bill, and countries are using the fact that the president is out of the country here to finalize some of those trade agreements. We saw the European Commission president fly over to Scotland and finish their framework deal. And now we hear that the South Korean delegation has now come, or was in Scotland, flew to Scotland to try and be next in the deals. Listen to this.
Think of how much they really want to get a deal done. But the president is in the driver's seat now, right? He's done these big deals. He's got really all the cards in front of him. And as he said, he's going to decide what the tariff rate is, how much these countries are going to open their markets and what the tariff rate is. And that's what we're going to do this week.
You know, the U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer working on sending up to 200 letters by Friday to countries that do not have a trade agreement with the U.S., telling them what additional tariff between 15 and 50% they will pay to import goods. I'm told that as of today, no additional letters have yet been sent. The Federal Reserve Chairman arguing to pause rates, and it stems from the fact that he does not know, he says, the level of tariffs going forward. Well, now we have significant deals with set rates. The European Union, United Kingdom, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So market experts say that some of that uncertainty is now gone.
I think the market, the first reaction to the tariffs was dropping a ping pong ball on the table where you get the sharpest reaction, then subsequent ones are more muted. Now, I think investors are expecting deals and are humming the Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust.
So the administration...
Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. I was waiting for him to say that. Let's go, because now we got someplace. Oh my God, this is why Doge was very effective and a good situation. A bribery scheme where the Trump administration takes action after massive USA fraud uncovered. You know I like that because I go into skits all the time. Let's go now. 512. I gotta make sure I get this number right. I just cannot believe how much money was stolen. Let's pay attention to this situation right here because this is why Doge and inspecting and doing accounting is so important. And yeah, we're talking about USAID.
More fraud revealed at USAID last month. Roderick Watson, a former federal contracting officer, pled guilty to taking over $1 million in bribes while working at USAID and funneling contracts to two consulting firms. The scheme, spanning a decade, involved $550 million in federal contracts through a small business administration program. The New York Post writing, quote, the USAID official received cash, laptops, thousands of dollars in tickets to a suite at an NBA game, a country club wedding, down payments on 2 residential mortgages, cellular phones, and jobs for relatives from the 3 businessmen as part of this scheme. Joining me now is Small Business Administrator Kelly Loeffler. Kelly, good morning. What action is the SBA going to take in response to this investigation? And also, what happens to these contracts?
Well, good morning, Cheryl. Great to be with you. Look, the Trump administration has a zero tolerance policy on fraud and corruption in federal government. So we're going after them. When we saw the DOJ prosecute $550 million in a fraudulent bribery scheme, we said we need a 15-year look back audit on everything in federal contracting for small businesses. That's what we're doing right now. We have a 15-year retroactive audit ongoing right now. What I'm announcing today on your show, Cheryl, is that we have now rescinded the independent contracting authority of USAID because they operate a massive federal government contracting program. And so they can no longer oversee their government contracting for small businesses. We're standing up to corruption in the Trump administration that was allowed to proliferate under the Biden administration. So
we got to keep going. I told you, we stacking this deck right now. We covering that. Now we got the bribery with USAID. That's $512 million, right? We on a roll. Now we got to go in. Just in, senators vote on an amendment to do something that I can't believe I've been waiting for this so long. There's people that actually made an app about this lady and her husband. So I guess once they got enough advertising, the Senate had no choice. Just in, there's a vote on an amendment to investigate no other than the past trades of Nancy Pelosi and her husband for the past 25 years. Stock trades, you guys, follow the money. They're saying certain people get into government and they just find a way to make it rich. Check this out.
Because there is no one. So present, I guess, your arguments for second degree to Scott 1.
Sure. So as we know, we're doing this because we've watched people that it sure appears that they have somehow figured out how to make a lot of money off their job up here in Congress. So my amendment is to get a review of all the trading by Nancy Pelosi and her husband for the last 25 years. I think it's critical to get to the root of why this bill was proposed and get transparency for the American people. I think, I agree that we've got to figure out, why people don't trust. And I think Speaker Pelosi is the prime example. So this amendment calls for an inspector general to issue a GAO report on the Pelosi trading for the last 25 years with a report back to the committee within 180 days.
There's somebody in the chat. I'm glad you said that. Natalie Georgievich said, I follow that app, so you know what I'm talking about. What else we got over here? Whip your skin and Karen. What else you got? What's up, John? How you doing? Liberty and Justice says audits for the win. TDS clowns in this chat. Don't worry, we're going to get them out of here. But Liberty and Justice says Pelosi, the prime example. Absolutely. Let's go, y'all. Let's keep going a little bit more on this.
I urge my colleagues to support my amendment.
I have a clarification question. This is the report on Nancy Pelosi. Does it include other members of Congress? No. This is just a report.
Speaker Pelosi and her husband.
On her husband.
We sent copies around earlier.
I just wanted to be clear.
By computer.
Yeah, but this is wild, right? This is wild.
Yeah, we sent it by computer and we can pass out copies.
Look,
I guess
they don't know what to say at this point. They're like, abba-dooba-baba-beeba. That's when your mouth is just like, you mean to tell me you really said this on national television and you...
My only problem, and the thing about it is I think it's driven by a lot of, like, for example, there are wealthy people in the Senate who people say, oh, look at all the money he's got. And they have gotten very rich over the last 20 or 30 years they've been in office. But the particular person, I'm not going to mention the name, is married to a very wealthy woman and her family. And it's like, there is an explanation. But on the online, everybody's like, how did that guy get to be so rich? And I worry about targeting one person is the only thing.
No. We're gonna set the precedent with this person. We have to have a pioneer, right? The same way she pioneered to the point where she made so much money, where she was able to make so much noise, to have these college students say, you know what? We're gonna drop out and make an app. And every trade that she does, this app is gonna follow it. And guess what's been going on ever since? She's been making tons of money, and so have they, because they've been mimicking her trades. And come on, y'all. Y'all know what's going on here. They don't want the other people to get investigated because they know if they let this one person start, the cards will fall. That's what they're scared of. Dominoes, baby. Dominoes.
I don't say that in a mean-spirited way. I just worry about going after one person as opposed to a report on stock investments or more generally than going after one person, but.
No, we have to do what we got to do on this one. Y'all want to keep on watching this, I'm sure. Yeah, let's get some more for this.
Excuse me?
Excuse me.
Well, I don't know. I worry about going after people just looking around at everybody's stock trades and trying to make accusations. The ethics committee kind of does this already, and I assume the ethics committee does it. I hate to put you on the spot, Jim, but what do you think about it from the ethics perspective?
Yeah, I can't speak to the House perspective. For those of us that have served in the House and know the fun of being in the House and their dual committees and what they do on ethics. Senate ethics is exceptionally thorough. We've had multiple members, and some have been discussed even a little bit today, that have ethical problems, and they're no longer in the Senate as a result of that. So there are consequences and there is follow through. And as Senator Johnson has mentioned, every single stock transaction of $1,000 or more buying or selling is made public already right now and is tracked in public and is tracked by ethics. And any question that comes up on a hearing, a meeting, and anything else that happens with any member of the Senate, if there is something that happens and then they trade in that stock later, it is actually brought to ethics and we follow up with those individuals. And any individual that's in the Senate knows full well that owns stocks, the pressure that they're under constantly, the microscope they're under, and any of their trades. So no, this is very tracked in the Senate.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we're gonna find out. I'm gonna get an update on this, on the solution here, resolution, the final conclusion. But we got to keep on moving. I just wanted you guys to see what's happening. A lot of our clips have so much more meat on the bone, but we can't stay in one place because we have to keep on moving. That's right. We got to keep on moving. Hope you guys are loving what's going on. If you do, double tap that screen and get those likes up. Now we got this brute of an FBI's most wanted list arrested for doing what? Remember that dude that was throwing those center blocks at those cars, the FBI and those Homeland Security trucks that were leaving? I don't know if you guys saw this when these SUVs were actually leaving that Arowana bus that they made, and there were people outside throwing center blocks from the roadside. Actually could have done some real damage here. They finally got one of the main perpetrators that was on video doing this. This guy over here. That guy right there, they got him.
U.S. Border Patrol has arrested a man who was on the FBI's wanted list for allegedly hurling concrete blocks at federal agents during the violent anti-ICE riots in Los Angeles in June. The moment in question was captured on video you see playing here. Officials identified Elpidio Reyna as the masked brute in the clip. He was finally busted by agents on Wednesday at the U.S.-Mexico border. And to make the justice even sweeter for the officer who took him in, it was personal. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley said he was taken into custody by a U.S. Border Patrol officer who was inside one of the vehicles damaged in the attack, a brave law enforcement officer who could have been killed in last month's dangerous and reckless attack. Asaley also released a video showing the arrest in which the downtrodden 39-year-old is hauled off in cuffs.
Good.
You're under arrest for assaulting federal agents.
Good.
Reyna had initially fled to Mexico after authorities blasted out images of him to track him down, authorities said. He was detained by Mexican authorities in the state of Sinaloa earlier this month, but later agreed to surrender to the FBI. Reyna was taken into custody at the San Isidro.
Where's all that energy at? Why's your head down? You should be head up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I always tell you guys, when you get to that ripe old age of whatever after 30, and you be starting to realize when they do that, when that thing go like that, because they got those one size all fit, those bracelets that fits one side, and now you in the back of the car like this, whatever the shocks do is going through your body, and then you looking out the window. Every single thing you looking at out the window, looking at it, its best. That pizza shop, that shoe shop, that lady walking, everything looks the best it could ever look. You know why? Because you have no control of your freedom. So doing stupid things, I like to think ahead. Where could I wind up being if I do something dumb like that? So I let other people be crash dummies for me, and I look at them like, okay, ain't doing that. Because that's that face of concern right there. And possible, am I going to alligator Alcatraz? Because that could be next.
Cedro port of entry on a felony charge of assault on a federal officer, authorities said. To anyone who thinks they can attack federal officers and hide behind a mask or helmet, Reina's arrest today proves we can find and charge anyone who violates federal law, as Saley said. While Attorney General Pamela Bondi also hailed the arrest, warning, you can run, but you can't hide.
All right, y'all, we got to go to Pittsburgh right now. I think that's Philadelphia because we fly high, so high, and you know this, boiling, boiling high. It's like showbiz. We fly high. But the sad part about it is this is not about a song. We got a new D-Rug that they let out in Pittsburgh, and it's called Fly Sky. And it's spreading throughout the Pittsburgh area. That's what authorities are saying right now. And I'll be honest with you, that's the last thing that Pittsburgh needs right now, especially with a place like Kensington right that close.
Has more on what the public needs to be on the lookout for.
Here in Fayette County over the last few days, there have been at least 2 overdose deaths from a drug called Fly Sky. And now officials want people to be aware that this drug is in the community. The drug Fly Sky, as it's sometimes labeled on bags sold on the street, is heroin laced with medetomidine, which is a tranquilizer used in veterinary medicine. Fayette County District Attorney Michael Abel says that users need to be aware that this drug can be lethal.
My understanding is that medetomidine is a drug that is not affected by Narcan. So if you overdose on medetomidine, Narcan is not going to save you.
Wow. Abel says that anyone who may have a bag of this Fly Sky drug can turn it into authorities at several places in the county, including local police stations and the Crime Stoppers office. No questions asked. He also says that not only are local and state police working to get these drugs off the street, but that his office will prosecute those who are responsible for delivering these drugs into the community.
We want people to be safe. We want everybody to be alive and to be healthy. You just don't know what you're getting anymore on the street.
Now, not only is this drug popping up in Fayette County and the Pittsburgh area, but it's also being seen in places like Philadelphia and Chicago. We're going to have more information about this drug with this story on our website, kdka.com. But for now, reporting in Uniontown, Fayette County, Chris DeRose, KDKA TV News.
Yeah, the D-Rug dealers, they don't care. They're just trying to get you hooked to make the money off of you. They don't care if it's something that they made off of, or for some plumbing supplies. They can melt some metal and be like, yo, this is it right here. Next thing you know, you got razor, something all up in your brain. Trust me, they do not care. They don't care about what they're putting in these D-Rugs right now. Also, if you're a little bit of that Bob Marley. If you're Sin Sima, who got the keys to my Beamer? If you're one of the people that put it in the air like that, y'all might want to be careful too, because they got this new thing that they call sprayed, and they might as well be putting Raid on your bud, for real, for real. Have you out here like this? Yeah. Trust me. Watch what you're putting in your body. It's not that serious. Go get a little shot, take a little toast, maybe a little bit of Big Drip. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of vodka, 14% alcohol. Keep on moving forward, you guys. We got another serious story that we got to get into right now. We're going to do this from the BBC. I love to get the other perspectives of news, even though sometimes it may be local. So now we got this report of a lone gunman who took out 5 of our people in New York, as well as a police officer. He actually targeted the NFL, but he went to the wrong office, is what the mayor said. We reported this story a couple of days ago. We broke it here as well. We've been following up with it ever since. Every time I find new information about a story that I can go a little more in depth, I like to do so. As well as, like I said earlier in the proceeding, get a couple of different perspectives of what's going on.
Now is the headquarters of the National Football League.
Sorry about that.
Now, let's turn to the United States. A gunman has killed 4 people in a New York skyscraper before shooting himself. Police say the man, named as Shane Tamura, was known to have mental health issues. One of the victims was a police officer. The building housed the headquarters of the National Football League. The mayor of New York, Eric Adams, says the gunman appeared to blame football for a brain injury.
He did have a note on him. The note alluded to that he felt he had CTE, a known brain injury for those who participate in contact sports. He appeared to have blamed the NFL for his injury. The NFL headquarters is located in the building at 345 Park Avenue. From our preliminary investigation, he took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters. Instead, it took him to Rudin Management.
Well, our North America correspondent John Sudworth is in New York and gave us this update.
In terms of the detail of what happened at the scene, more information has been emerging. We know that Shane Tamura, who was from Las Vegas, drove all the way to New York, almost 4,000 miles or so, to carry out these killings. We know what happened at the scene. We know that surveillance footage shows him entering the building with a high-powered assault rifle, clearly visible, being carried at his side. He sprayed the lobby area of this skyscraper on Park Lane with bullets. He then took the elevator to a higher floor and continued shooting there, leaving 4 people dead, including a New York police officer. But in terms of motive, only those details that have come from that statement from the New York Mayor, Eric Adams.
Now, that wasn't a suited police officer. There was an off-duty officer that was being security on his day off for another business that was in that firm. So that's actually what happened. Terrible situation, tragic situation. We've already prayed for the souls of these families as well. We'll do that one more time because we cannot just move on without praying for the souls of the family and praying and hoping that we find some strength in this tragic situation, as well as New Yorkers that really need more and much more protection against things like this. We ask that in Jesus' name. Thank you. We move forward. Thank you, guys. The reason we do that, because we may have an energetic clip going after that. I can't break into laughter after a situation like that morally myself. We're going to move forward right now. We just had to get some people up out of here. We're going back over to Las Vegas because the police actually found a second note that's connected with this Midtown Ooter. I can't say that word. Almost got caught. We got a second letter, basically, that they found at this guy's home. Let's get into this.
Latest on the mass shooting in Midtown. There is so much new information since this story was breaking last night at this time. And here are tonight's new developments.
Well, New Yorkers coming out tonight to Bryant Park for a prayer vigil to honor those killed in that deadly attack. Lucy Yang covering that for us tonight.
And the body of the police officer, Diddy Islam, is back home in the Bronx tonight as we're learning new details about how he'll be remembered. Sonia Rincon has details on that.
And police are saying tonight that they have found another note from the shooter.
Eyewitness News reporter Josh Oettinger is live at the scene of the deadly attack at 345 Park Avenue in Midtown with the new information. Josh?
And Shadi, you can see behind me flowers, a balloon or two have slowly showed up here over the course of the last several hours of people have come to pay their respects to those who lost their lives here so inexplicably last night. Meanwhile, police 2,500 miles away at the shooter's home in Las Vegas. Sources tell ABC News they have encountered a second note he apparently left behind. This one apparently amounting to an apology to his parents for the carnage cops say he inflicted here last night.
With plywood covering the blown-out plate glass, you can no longer see the damage to 345 Park tonight. But amid a growing wall of flowers and a lingering police presence, the trauma endures. One night after New York's deadliest mass shooting in a generation, police are settling in on a motive for the massacre in one of the world's most densely populated commercial neighborhoods. 27-year-old Shane Tamura didn't even try to blend in on the pedestrian plaza in front, wearing a blazer and sunglasses and carrying an assault rifle. Moments later, he burst into the lobby and opened fire.
And it was just a random act of violence of a person who was determined to inflict violence.
Today, the mayor said it appeared likely Tamura had been trying to target the National Football League, its headquarters on some of the building's lower floors. Police drawing that conclusion after finding a suicide note on the shooter's body.
In that note, Mr. Tamura claimed to be suffering from CTE.
possibly from playing high school football. And he blamed the NFL. He also writes, "Study my brain. I'm sorry." 2 groups of detectives are currently en route to Las Vegas to conduct interviews and execute a search warrant at Mr. Tamura's home.
They've already retraced his steps across the country, a drive he made just over the weekend, arriving in the city merely 2 hours before the rampage, which led office workers to run for their lives or barricade themselves in place as police rushed in. But all of it too late for a New York City police officer picking up a shift, a finance executive and mother of 2, a security guard, and a recent college grad. But so many others were lucky, finally allowed to file out, in some cases hours later, after learning what security experts have long warned, that even in an age of emergency drills and modern tech, an attack like yesterday's was, perhaps, impossible to prevent.
All right, y'all, I got to keep on moving. Tragic event. I wanted to make sure I got as much content that we can. Of course, like you know how we do over here, we continue to follow stories. Do your boy a favor, if y'all appreciate the content and what you're seeing right now, double tap that screen, get those likes up. If you're not a member, go ahead and join, subscribe, give me all the money in your pockets. All you got to do is just send it all over in super chats. I'm just messing with you because I know it's hard out here for a pimp. And we got some coffee in the kitchen, so don't worry about that. But we like to get those likes up because what that does, it gets more people over here to see what we got going on with the channel. And y'all, we gonna get there. I know what y'all waiting for, but we got to go to Cincinnati because we got some real serious stories over there that we got to follow up with. Cincinnati, come to the front of the stage, please. We got the 3rd suspect arrested in this viral Cincinnati street beatdown where 3 of 5 have been arrested and arraigned. This is crazy right here. And I have a problem with once somebody's down, I see people putting their feet on somebody, it just does something to my inner core where I'll wind up probably getting involved because the person is already down. Why are you putting your feet on them? And why is all of those people putting their feet on these people? But again, I'm not Superman, but let's get into it, y'all.
Well, you got this. A 3rd person's been arrested in connection with that violent brawl at 3 o'clock in the morning, late Friday night, early Saturday morning in Cincinnati. The video is graphic. The street fight caught national attention when videos of the incident went viral, with even the White House weighing in on it. 3 suspects are being charged with felony assault and aggravated riot. CB Cotton's got the follow-up. She's live in New York City.
And you know that's not your hair. We going there early. What is that on your head? Look like a hoodie or something like that. What is that? We know that.
And some of this has history for those involved. And CB, good morning to you.
Bill, good morning. We've learned the FBI has now opened an investigation into that vicious brawl.
Good.
As 3 out of the 5 suspects who've been arrested so far are expected to be arraigned this morning. The 2 men and 1 woman are now all facing charges of felony assault and aggravated riot. The suspect in the middle of your screen, Montanez Merriweather, was indicted earlier this month on other felony charges. According to Cincinnati's police union, which sounded off on the court system saying Merriweather only had to pay $400 to post bail and walk out of jail on those previous charges. In the horrific video, you can see a white man being repeatedly punched and kicked by a group of black men and women in downtown Cincinnati on Saturday at around 3 a.m. Then you see a woman get knocked out cold with blood on her face, and bystanders are just recording on their phones instead of stepping in. Cincinnati's police chief, Teresa Thigi, said only 1 person called 911 in a crowd of 100 or so people. But police haven't said what led to the fight, and the outrage continues to grow as people demand to know why the brutal attack even took place. U.S. Republican Senator John Husted from Ohio said he talked with 3 of the victims.
I called all 3 of them. There may have been more in conversations with them. They didn't understand why. I know maybe more facts will come out in this situation, but this is the point that's true. This is happening in America across our cities like it did in Cincinnati. It's not tolerable.
So the police chief said at a public safety meeting last night that she will not tolerate lawlessness.
Okay, so my question is, even though it's Cincinnati, even Where are the police? And here go the people in the comments, yo, Bugatti, how you be asking for the police and all of that? Because maybe that lady wouldn't have got knocked out and that man wouldn't have got stomped all in his face like that. Do y'all agree? Or you just want the action and to be on the other side of the video camera? Because to be honest with you, that's content that I don't want. Even though I've seen it many times, that's some content that I don't want. I actually feel disturbed for the people that's involved about it, especially the people taking, kicks to the face. You kidding me? That's somebody could hurt somebody permanently with that. Now we got to get on over to Detroit. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. Just bear with me. It's coming. It's gonna pop out of nowhere. It's gonna be like, oh, da-da-da. Trust me, it's coming. But we got to get over to Detroit because we got this unman that's at large after an quadruple pow-powing at a Detroit gas station. The police are on the scene to find one man, and he's no longer with us. Yes, Detroit. I'm sorry to say that, baddie. Yep, it's your town. And I know, y'all from D-Town, step to the front so I can show you guys what I know about what's going on with your city.
Get your name real quick, say and spell it for us.
Captain Marcus Thurkill, M-A-R-C-U-S, T-H-I-R-L-K-I-L-L, and I'm the commanding officer of the Detroit Police Department Homicide Division. On today's date, officers from the 12th Precinct received a police run for a shooting at the gas station located at Puritan and Fairfield, located on the city's west side. Officers from the 12th Precinct responded to this location and observed a male in his 30s deceased at the location. He was pronounced deceased at this location. Through the course of the investigation, officers were updated with information that 3 additional individuals were also shot from this location. One was privately conveyed to an area hospital. One was conveyed by our Detroit Fire Department medics, and another individual was treated here on scene by medics. At this time, the non-fatal victims are treated for non-life-threatening injuries. This does appear to be an isolated incident. The individual who is responsible for this, we are asking this individual to turn themselves in to any Detroit Police Department precinct. Our condolences go out to the family. I will not be releasing any other information at this time until the family of the deceased has been notified by our homicide investigators.
Yeah, y'all, terrible, tragic situation in Detroit, D-Town. Y'all gotta stop. We gotta stop. I kind of predicted this. It's summertime. I understand it's hot. People are aggravated. People are taking D-rugs. A lot of people don't have money and they're going through a lot, but it's not the time to do it that way, y'all. But who am I talking to? Not the people that we need to be talking to, because those people don't watch shows like this. We have to be careful of those people. That's why we want to pray for the souls of the people that lost their souls and the families and the friends so they can be strong throughout this tragic event. And we ask that in Jesus' name. Amen. All I can say is try to protect yourselves as much as possible. Keep good people around you and try to protect them too. And because right now, like the preceding person said, it's not just happening in one place. It's happening everywhere. Not a fear mongerer. Just want to show what's going on. And as you guys can see, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York. So ain't nobody, it's not just happening in one place, and they're showing you. Let's go on over to Florida now. This is what I like right here. I love this story because we got this former Florida personal trainer who's facing more than 100 felony charges for actual, that's right, you ain't gonna get me YouTube, for actual battery and voyeurism. He thought that they was just gonna come talk to him. They had a conversation with him prior and they let him go. This time they said, stand up for a minute. Do me a favor. Put your hands behind your back, because they got those one-size-fits-all bracelets. That's right, y'all. One size fits all. Here we go. Let's get them off the streets. Let's get all of these creeps off the streets that mess with women and mess with kids. That's what I'm all about. Let's go to Florida and talk about this former personal trainer.
Thanks, Hannah. Also, a Fox 35 News update right now. A man who's accused of using hidden cameras for secret recordings that he shared online is now looking at even more charges. Turns out he's also being investigated in another county. Fox 35's Chancellor Wynn joins us live with that story tonight. So, Chancellor, walk us through these new charges that he's facing.
Well, John, this other county is Santa Rosa County over in the panhandle of Florida. It's a few hundred miles from here. And following this personal trainer's arrest about 3 weeks ago, where he was charged with a laundry list of charges related to allegedly secretly recording his ex-girlfriend and their female roommate inside of their home, he's now facing more charges, some of which include sexual battery and voyeurism.
Yeah, do me a favor, put your hands behind your back.
You might remember this body camera video from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office showing deputies arresting 28-year-old David Van Morsel at his place of employment back on July 1st. Now he's facing even more charges, this time out of Santa Rosa County. Morsel has a laundry list of more than 100 charges, including 95 counts of video voyeurism alone. Detectives with the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office say they began investigating Morsel after Volusia County reached out about the potential of even more crimes Morsel allegedly committed in the Panhandle, adding, "We take these types of crimes extremely seriously. Our agency is fully committed to investigating all reports of criminal activity in our county."
Damn, you can't even trust the trainer.
Especially those that violate the safety and privacy of our residents.
Who can you
Now,
trust?
even though deputies placed Morsel in handcuffs at his job, investigators say the crimes he's charged with in Volusia County took place at his home in DeLand, where he's accused of secretly recording his ex-girlfriend and their female roommate on multiple cameras, including one in a bathroom and another camera on a bookcase in a bedroom, then sharing the nude content online. Detectives say they also found multiple videos of women working out at the gym where he worked. But according to the sheriff's office, the videos were taken in public areas of the gym and do not violate Florida law. But he presumably did not get consent from the women in those videos.
He looked like a creep, don't he? Because you know why? He looked like somebody that don't get a lot of girlfriends and stuff like that. Probably used to play a lot of video games. That's why he got them bags up under his eyes like that. Playing a whole bunch of Fortnite and a whole bunch of crap. Women don't really like no guy that play video games and Fortnite all the time. I mean, probably do. You can find yourself a gamer girl. But come on, man, get yourself together. What's going on with you? Maybe if you would have invested more time in how you look in your presentation, wouldn't have to do so much creepy things. But then again, it could be farther than that. So yeah, sorry to say it. I'm glad he got what he got. He got those one size fits all. Y'all heard the noise, right? When they put him behind him, that's what he need to deal with, and that's what he got. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya because I don't get down like that. Now we got to keep on moving forward. Whoa, Florida always provides. I swear you, boy. I swear it always provides in Florida. And like I said, you can't trust nobody almost. You don't know who you can trust. Case in point, we got a situation in Jacksonville where the father, that's right, I said it, the father of a rapper named Queso, he's testifying to get him. He's like, emotional while he's on the stand. Yeah, my son did it. Homeboy, if you're really emotional, you wouldn't snitch on your son, you'll take the time. Stop acting like y'all so hardcore, and then when y'all get those one-size-fits-all bracelets, they start acting different when they get locked up and they ain't letting them out. Come on, y'all, let's get over here. He literally snitched on his son to get a reduction in his own jail time, talking about he want to go see his other kids. And the sad part about it, y'all ready for this? The maraschino cherry on top? It's the wicked stepfather situation, not the wicked stepmother. Because after it's all said and done, it's kind of like the situation with 50 when they did Pablo, when he was like, he wasn't my damn son anyway. All right, y'all, check this out, because it was his stepson. So check this out. He wanted to get out of jail and sacrifice his stepchild so he can get out and be with his real kids.
Trial of Jacksonville rapper Queso took another dramatic turn when his own father took the stand to testify against him this afternoon. Hakeem Robinson, also known as Queso, and his cousin Leroy Whitaker Jr. are both charged in the 2020 shooting death of 23-year-old Charles McCormick Jr. Prosecutors say Robinson wanted to kill McCormick, known as rapper Buck, for making a diss track about someone in his family who had been killed in a drive-by shooting. News Direct reporter Brianna Brownlee has been following the trial since the beginning and joins us live at the courthouse tonight. Brianna?
No loyalty.
Yes, the court took a recess for the day about 30 minutes ago, but that was after Abdul Robinson Sr. took the stand, and he was on the stand for about 2.5 hours. Now, he did testify against his own son, and he said it was a hard decision, but he did name Hakeem Robinson as the shooter. However, the defense says it was Abdul Robinson Sr. who had more of a motive.
Do you see your son Hakeem Robinson in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
Can you tell us where he's seated and what he is wearing?
Snitch.
He's sitting between the two lawyers right there with a beige suit on.
Abdul Robinson Sr., known on the streets as Blue, took the stand Monday, pointing out his son, rapper Hakeem Robinson, also known as Queso. Now, Blue is facing 2 serious charges of his own that could land him in prison for life, but he's testifying against his son, hoping for a lighter sentence.
I got some health issues.
Okay,
I got
Donald, my bad, Donald.
2 6-year-olds and an 8-year-old daughter.
Blue says this is only part of the reason why he's testifying against his son. Willie Addison wasn't the biological son of Blue, but he says he loved him as if he was his own. He was also in the car that night Addison was killed. This track from the late Charles McCormick, recorded after the death of Addison, is what is believed to have kicked off the plot to kill McCormick. According to Abdul Robinson Sr., it was Hakeem Robinson who killed McCormick for revenge.
Who is the person that was captured on the video recording shooting Charles McCormick?
My son.
What's your son's name?
Hakeem.
Looking at his son in the eyes as he named him as the shooter in the death of McCormick. However, the defense quickly fired back, stating Blue has a career of being an informant and to testify to take deals to lighten his sentence, and that it was him with more of the motive.
You never heard Leroy Whitaker say anything that he would have any knowledge that anyone was going to get out and shoot Charles McCormick.
No, I haven't.
And sir, have you ever been convicted of a felony or a crime of dishonesty?
No. You said a crime of dishonesty?
And I'm sorry, let me make it easier.
Yeah.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony, sir?
Yes.
How many times?
2.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony? Yes. How many times? 2. So you already a 2-time felon. All right, y'all. We got to keep on moving. We're going to get up out of Florida. I apologize for saying whatever about Florida. But it just he said somebody said he moved here. He's not from Florida. Get that right, Bugatti. Okay, I'm going to get it right. Now we got to do some more stuff. I'm sorry, but there's more going on in Florida. It just happened to be a lot happening in Florida, guys. Yeah, it's a situation where it's a crash where at least 7 people were hospitalized after a plane collided with a car. It really happened, so I got to report it. Just a whole bunch of stories coming out of Florida. We're going to get to the other stuff. We're going to get there. You see that deck right there? That deck is locked and loaded. Let's go.
I do want to talk right now about a breaking news event taking place in Palm Beach County, Florida, as a small plane has crashed. You can see just some of these images on the ground at High Ridge Road. Several people were injured in a small plane crash. You can see different individuals there on the ground. Citizens concerned about this. And what we know at this point is the Fire and Rescue of Palm Beach County responded Monday to Lake Osborne Drive after a crash involving a small plane and car. Upon arrival, crews found that the aircraft had skimmed the top of a Honda Civic. 2 people were on board the plane, 5 inside the car at the time of the crash. All 7 individuals transported to local hospitals. And you can see them zooming in on this plane, now upside down on the side of this clearly residential kind of road. You can see the plane off to the left. I'm not sure where the Honda Civic is actually located in between some of this caution tape, but the plane is just off to the left, and 2 individuals they are reporting were on this plane at the time of it. I don't believe it's too far away from a local small airport there in the area.
So yes, 2 people injured. No one lost their lives, but I had to get that out because guess what? A lot of times you guys, it's in a small area, may not get that much play, may not get that much, so we try to give it more play over here on our platform. So now, we're going to start getting into it right now, but we're going to start it off like this, you guys, because as you guys know, now, what y'all want to do? Want to be ballers, shot callers, brawlers, who dipping in the bins and the spoilers. That's right, P. Diddy makes an urgent demand to be released immediately, and he wants to be out due to threats as well as the conditions of where he's being kept at right now. Let's go.
Diddy is upping his offer to the government. He wants out of jail right now. You know that he is still behind bars at Brooklyn MDC while he is awaiting his sentence in October. But right after he was sentenced, they tried to get out on bail. They made an offer. They said, we'd like for him to be released on $1 million bail. The judge shut that down. So now it's like he's playing Let's Make a Deal, right? How about this, Your Honor? What if we offer a $50 million bail package? The money has gone up, but the reason that he thinks he should get out is because he says what he's convicted of were non-violent offenses.
And he's right. He's right that he was convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act. The Mann Act is hiring a prostitute and taking the prostitute across state lines. It's a non-violent crime. So when you look at what happened, there were allegations that he was violent toward Cassie and Jane, you know, during prosecution's case.
There was testimony.
But the jury found him not guilty on those counts. And when you look at the Intercontinental video in 2016, he would have been convicted had he been prosecuted in California, but he wasn't. And the statute of limitations ran. So his position is, look, you're holding me because you say I have violent propensities, but that's not what I was convicted on.
It's not what he was convicted on, but those violent propensities do exist. So that's very clear.
So then you keep
not
him
only from the video, but, and I know what you're saying, that there was plenty of testimony from both Jane and from Cassie during the trial.
Okay, now that was TMZ, just trying to bring you guys up on current events and what's going on. Now, let's get some Epstein, let's get some Ghislaine Maxwell, let's get some information from the brother. Let's get into it. Let's go. We got TMZ at Epstein list scandals finally exposed. That's right. The Epstein list scandals, part of it is finally exposed. We got some shocking discoveries coming up. We're going straight back to TMZ. They've been really good with breaking this information, starting off the clip with that. So let's get into some Epstein information right now. Let's go.
Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Production expenses. So they're allowed to pay the campaign. Beyonce, in his crosshairs, he wants them prosecuted. All 3 of them, he wants them prosecuted. He says they have broken federal law. And he is now going after, hear me, Beyonce, Oprah, and Al Sharpton. So here's what he said. He said, the Democrats admit to paying, probably illegally, $11 million to singer Beyonce for an endorsement, $3 million for expenses to Oprah, $600,000 to very low-rated TV anchor Al Sharpton. And he says a total lightweight for doing absolutely nothing. Kamala and all of those that received endorsement money broke the law. They should all be prosecuted. What he
wanted you guys, but let's go here.
Donald Trump, I think, has now signaled what his reaction will be if the Epstein files from the Justice Department are released. And I think what he's going to say is that his name was inserted by his political enemies and that it should never have been in there. So we have told you for the last 2 weeks, we've known, based on 2 sources who have had access to these files, who have seen them, that Donald Trump's name is there multiple times. There are a bunch of names in there, scores of names. Fidel Castro, the former dictator of Cuba, is in there. Huge rock stars are in there. But again, it's people that Jeffrey Epstein circulated with. So it's not like, you know, everybody there is involved in a scandal. They're just casual associations with Epstein. And even the, you know, these pictures that came out, you know, Donald Trump inviting Jeffrey Epstein to his wedding with Marla Maples, 1,000 people were invited. So it's not like this intimate thing. I want to show you this. Alexa, do you have this?
Okay, so this is Trump in Scotland, and listen carefully to the way he says it.
Those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey, they were run by Garland, they were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony.
Okay, also, it was other clips where President Trump said the reason why he stopped dealing with Jeffrey Epstein, he said basically he invited him to Mar A Largo several times. Once he was at Mar A Largo, he started to, why am I saying it? Let's let him say it. Let's go.
You keep writing stories like the time you threw them out of Mar A Largo. Well, can you settle that? What was it about? What caused the breach to begin?
That's such old history. Very easy to explain, but I don't want to waste your time by explaining it. But for years, I wouldn't talk to Jeffrey Epstein. I wouldn't talk because he did something that was inappropriate. He hired help. And I said, don't ever do that again. He stole people that worked for me. I said, don't ever do that again. He did it again. And I threw him out of the place, persona non grata. I threw him out, and that was it. I'm glad I did, if you want to know the truth. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. And many other people that are very big people. Nobody ever talks about them.
Time to go to work, y'all. I need you guys.
I never had the.
I need you guys to give me. I need you guys to hold me down. I'm about to run this other clip. We got about 10 timestamps. I'm about to give you guys 10 people who actually had something to do with Jeffrey Epstein. I need y'all to work with me. We're gonna go from 5 minutes. I'm just gonna probably play. There's 10 clips. Each one of them about 2 minutes long. We're not gonna do that. I'm gonna skim them. But we're going to start off with every single person that Jeffrey Epstein associated with, and we're talking about the top 10 on that list, right? I'm not going to be able to give you guys everything on the list, but I'm going to give y'all some heat right now. Let's go. Beginning with Bill Clinton. Let's go. Let's go.
Whoever walked through Jeffrey Epstein's door and were behind it. This is cold, direct testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell, the person who ultimately held the keys to the entire network. Before her arrest, she named them. No explanation, no remorse, just a list, and one by one, like a bombshell, the world was stunned. A former president, a prince, billionaires and politicians. They weren't just guests. They were the system that had kept Epstein company for 2 decades. And now the veil of mystery has begun to lift. 1. Bill Clinton, mysterious connection with Jeffrey Epstein. Of all the names that have been associated with Jeffrey Epstein's network, none has attracted as much attention as Bill Clinton. He was the 42nd president of the United States and the head of one of the world's largest nonprofits, the Clinton Foundation, once a symbol of post-White House influence. Yet the Clinton-Epstein connection, while never conclusively proven, leaves many unanswered questions. Clinton's relationship with Epstein became widely known after the release of logs from Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express. According to flight records published by Gawker and Fox News, Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's private jet at least 26 times between...
Got a little bit of a list here. We got JG, we got AP, bodyguard, we got Alexis, we got up there.
Between 2001 and 2003. Some of the trips included Clinton flying without Secret Service agents, a rarity for the former president. For example, in February 2002, Clinton and Clinton Foundation staff flew from Miami to Africa with Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and several other passengers. They were reportedly involved in HIV/AIDS relief efforts in Rwanda, Nigeria, and Ghana. But that raises questions. Why would a former president need to use the private jet of a financier who has been implicated in numerous scandals?
Okay, let's keep on moving.
Likeliest in the 21st century. The next name Maxwell mentioned created a real earthquake in the hearts of the British royal family. 2. Prince Andrew, royal family and Epstein's shadow. Prince Andrew, Duke of York, the third son of Queen Elizabeth II, was once seen as one of the faces of change in the royal family. In the early 2000s, he was known for his role as a trade envoy for the UK traveling the globe to promote trade. It was during this time that his relationship with Epstein first emerged. FBI documents show that Prince Andrew had numerous interactions with Epstein, including a documented visit to Epstein's Manhattan mansion in 2010. That was after Epstein had been convicted of a felony. Photos of him walking in Central Park with Epstein soon after sparked controversy. Not only that Andrew's name appeared on the flight log, the passenger list on Epstein's private plane at least 4 times. One of the flights in question was from Teterboro, New Jersey to the Bahamas in 1999 with Ghislaine Maxwell on board. However, he insisted that the travel had no negative connotations and that it was mostly for social gatherings or public events, many of which involved other high-profile figures.
All right, let's go.
TV host and later the 45th President of the United States spent years as a close friend of Epstein and Palm Beach's elite. In the 1990s and early 2000s, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were more than just 2 wealthy men photographed together at lavish parties. There was a public intimacy between them, at least initially. Trump called Epstein a wonderful guy who liked beautiful women as much as I did in a 2002 interview with New York Magazine. Epstein was still a figure of curiosity in the upper echelons of society, and their relationship was a tacit agreement between 2 worlds of power, real estate, and finance.
Let's keep going.
Wexner, Epstein's mysterious financial patron. If Jeffrey Epstein was a powerful pawn in the American elite, Les Wexner protected that pawn during the early years. Unlike the characters who only passed through Epstein's life with parties or social relationships, Wexner, the founder of the L Brands empire, the corporation that owns Victoria's Secret, was the one who gave Epstein financial power housing and a prestigious cover to penetrate deep into the super rich. The relationship began in the late 1980s. Epstein was not yet a household name, but he quickly impressed Wexner with his social skills and his ability to manage assets without any formal qualifications. Within a decade, Wexner not only gave Epstein control of much of his personal wealth, but also transferred him a lavish Manhattan mansion worth tens of millions of dollars.
Remember that mansion, y'all. Remember that mansion. Remember the mansion that Les Wexner gave Epstein. Let's go. Next person.
The list is a name no one would expect. 5. Alan Dershowitz, lawyer of power and accusation. Of all the people deeply involved with Jeffrey Epstein, none has been more divisive than Alan Dershowitz. He is a renowned professor at Harvard Law School, legal advisor to multiple presidents, and an advocate for notorious figures from O.J. Simpson to Trump. But to Epstein, Dershowitz was more than just a lawyer. He was a witness, a defendant, and a living symbol of the enduring debate between legal power and public morality. Dershowitz met Epstein in the late 1990s, when the financial and academic elites began to see Epstein as an intellectual philanthropist. The two became fast friends discussing philosophy and science. But when Epstein was investigated in 2005 for misconduct, Dershowitz immediately became a central part of the case, as the lead lawyer negotiating the most controversial immunity deal in American legal history. In 2008, Epstein was sentenced to just 13 months in prison with the condition that he work almost full-time, thanks to a secret deal with federal prosecutors. Alan Dershowitz was involved in the negotiations and once proudly declared that he had reached the best settlement of my legal career. But the price of that success was relentless criticism from the public, the media, and especially Epstein's victims. Years later, his name appeared in shocking legal documents filed by Virginia Giuffre, one of the main victims. She alleged
keep on going.
Equally mysterious name. A seemingly harmless relationship. When the name of Glenn Dubin, associated with the hedge fund Highbridge Capital Management, was mentioned in documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, many in the financial world were surprised. Unlike the cold image of Wall Street tycoons, Dubin has long been known as a private person, a cautious investor, and involved in medical charity activities. However, it was his personal relationship with Epstein that attracted public attention. Glenn Dubin and his wife, Dr. Eva Anderson, have known Epstein since the 1990s. In fact, Eva had a romantic relationship with Epstein before marrying Dubin. Although Eva and Epstein later became friends, their bond never faded.
This is crazy.
Epstein was invited to many Dubin family events even after he was released from prison in 2009.
Crazy.
At that time, Epstein was even invited to dinner at Dubin's Manhattan home, a detail revealed in investigative documents in 2019. Their long-standing closeness has raised questions. In a document released by the U.S. Attorney's Office, one of Epstein's victims, Virginia Giuffre, testified that she was introduced to Dubin. However, Glenn Dubin has denied the allegations, and no criminal charges have been brought against him.
We're going to keep moving, y'all. We got to.
7. Leon Black. A financial network and unanswered questions of investigation has focused on the complex web surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. Leon Black, the co-founder and former CEO of Apollo Global Management, has quickly become one of the most notable figures. With a financial empire worth tens of billions of dollars, Leon Black has long been one of the most powerful men on Wall Street. But his personal and financial ties to Epstein have raised questions. Where does the line between consulting and personal influence blur? According to an internal investigation conducted by the law firm Descher at the request of Apollo's board of directors, Leon Black paid Epstein more than $158 million between 2012 and 2017. An unusually large sum for the financial and tax advice Epstein was supposed to provide. More importantly, the payments occurred years after Epstein was convicted in 2008, which led many in the financial world to distance themselves from him. In a public statement, Black admitted that he made a mistake in continuing his professional relationship with Epstein and insisted that he was not involved in any wrongdoing.
All right.
Epstein Shadow, a former prime minister of Israel and one of the most accomplished generals in the streak and a solid reputation. But after investigative documents, his name suddenly appeared in a web of on from the financial scandals on Wall Street. The relationship between Barack and Epstein is different. It is not entirely based on commercial interests, but rather on investment partnerships and secret meetings. Documents show that Barack received millions of dollars from a company associated with Epstein, including a payment of more than $2 million from Epstein's company WCF in 2015. Barack claims it was an investment for a technology security company he founded, but the extent of his involvement and the reasons for choosing Epstein as a partner remain unclear.
And last but not least, someone we all know from computers and software.
Name on the list makes everyone stunned. 9. Bill Gates and his controversial connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft and one of the world's most influential billionaires, is widely known for his philanthropy through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He has spent tens of billions of dollars fighting disease poverty and promoting global education. However, Gates' past relationship with convicted felon Jeffrey Epstein has raised questions and criticism about his transparency about his social relationships. According to documents and testimony released after Epstein's second arrest in 2019, Bill Gates met with Epstein at least a few times between 2011 and 2013 after Epstein pleaded guilty in 2008. The New York Times reported that Gates visited Epstein's Manhattan home and attended several meetings, sometimes lasting hours, in which Epstein proposed ideas to help Gates coordinate his philanthropy or access some form of non-traditional funding. What surprised the public was that Bill Gates, a man known for his careful handling of both his professional and personal relationships, would agree to meet with a convicted felon like Epstein, and more than once. While there is no evidence that Gates was directly involved in any wrongdoing by Epstein, the connection has raised unavoidable questions from the public and the media.
So just so you guys know, this is before her arrest. Ghislaine Maxwell finally revealed the 9 powerful men behind Epstein's empire. Just in case you guys thought it was 10 and I stopped early. No, it's not. Also, as you guys see, Bill Gates is the that's on that list over there. But there's a beginning of a story that comes out of that situation, because as you saw, that wasn't just him that was involved. Also, his wife was involved. It was Bill and Melinda Gates. So right here we have words from Melinda Gates. She feels about Jeffrey Epstein, kind of why partially why her and Bill Gates did get a divorce. Because yeah, it had something to do with their relationship. She didn't like Epstein. She felt he was evil. Let's keep on moving, y'all.
Not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
Melinda French Gates opens up following her and Bill's divorce and the role Jeffrey Epstein played in their split. The power couple revealed last year that they ended their 27-year marriage.
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
That's Melinda sitting down with CBS Morning's Gayle King on Thursday, her first wide-ranging interview since the split announcement in May.
Divorce is a painful process, even when it's what both parties want. It still is a very painful, personal decision.
It wasn't one moment or one specific thing that happened. There just came a point in time where there was enough there that I realized it just wasn't healthy and I couldn't trust what we had.
Among those contributing factors, Bill's connection, convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The disgraced financier died in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial for sex trafficking charges.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or a business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
It's not one thing, it was many things.
You heard that, right?
But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him.
Melinda admits she met Epstein and doesn't mince words about her first impression.
I wanted to see who this man was, and I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. Wow. I had nightmares about it afterwards. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
In a statement to CBS News, Bill calls meeting with Epstein, quote, a mistake that I regret deeply. He adds it was a substantial error in judgment.
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
Okay.
I made it very clear how I felt about him.
Melinda and Bill's divorce was finalized in August of last year.
First of all, I think, I want to say that on the day, I had a sense of how big a news it would be. You can't anticipate something like that.
Children together, and both remain involved with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Definitely a very sad milestone.
In his first interview following the divorce in August, Bill explained the split wouldn't affect their dedication towards giving back.
And Melinda's a great person, and that partnership that we had coming to an end is a source of great personal sadness.
So what do you guys think? Why do you guys think they broke up? Do you think she found out some information or she saw something that she didn't agree with, told them to stop messing around with this guy and he kept on doing it? Chad C., don't take it so serious, bro. There's a lot of people that don't know this. Just because you do doesn't mean that everybody else does. I didn't know a lot of this. Hold back, bro. There's going to be another clip that you might see that don't, that might, old news, okay, cool. But everything about Epstein is old news to us. It's actually 20-something years old. So guess what? We still need to know what's going on because we want to know what's going on with these files. We're preparing ourselves. We're creating a foundation. We're creating a setup on the files. We've got all this information, and then we can add whatever we learn new to that information. And don't keep on moving forward right now, because what do we know about the Epstein's reclusive brother? And Chad, I know you've been around for a while. You've been rocking with us for a minute, but you know what I'm saying, bro. You know what I'm going to say, right? You can sit this one out if you're not feeling this episode. I ain't going to feel no hard feelings about it. I ain't going to feel no hard feelings. Let's go.
When Jeffrey Epstein died in 2019, there was initially some skepticism directed toward his younger brother, Mark. But in the years since, that attention has faded significantly. But I still think Mark Epstein is an interesting part of the Epstein puzzle. Mark's background is spotty. He started as an artist before attending Cooper Union, which is an elite private college in Manhattan. In adulthood, he moved into entrepreneurship, starting a series of businesses like a shirt printing business called Ismo, which was apparently in business for about 20 years. According to a short little corporate-type biography of him, he formed a number of other businesses in the cosmetics, graphics, and advertising industries during this time. Like his brother, Mark Epstein also made a foray into the modeling business with his company Saint Model and Talent, which is still actively registered to this day, although I couldn't find any information about whether it's still operational. However, the bulk of Mark Epstein's business activity appears to have been. He's the owner of multiple properties, the less valuable ones of which are located, according to this report, in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Florida. He placed one of those condos in Florida up as a type of collateral in an attempt to secure bail for his brother when he was arrested in 2019. But it's the Manhattan properties that he owns that offer some of the clearest indications of potential overlap between Mark and Jeffrey's business networks. This building, 301 East 66th Street in the Lenox Hill neighborhood of Manhattan's wealthy Upper East Side, is owned by ASA Properties, which is a partnership between Mark Epstein and two brothers, Jonathan and Anthony Barrett. Jonathan Barrett, ASA's vice president, is identified as the asset manager for J. Epstein & Co., Jeffrey Epstein's famous financial firm that supposedly only managed the money of clients with over $1 billion in net assets. But the ties between Mark Epstein's businesses and those of his brother don't end there. The units Mark Epstein owns in 301 East 66th Street were previously owned by none other than Les Wexner, owner of L Brands and a man who has extensive ties to Jeffrey Epstein. In the words of the New York Times, quote, "Within years of meeting Jeffrey Epstein, Mr. Wexner handed him sweeping powers over his finances, philanthropy, and private life, according to interviews with people who knew the men as well as court documents and financial records." This connection between Jeffrey Epstein and Les Wexner could be an entire episode of its own, but for the purposes of brevity, we'll just keep it there.
I wanted to do that right there because I wanted you guys to see the connections between the brothers, the fact that he still had real estate connections, that those two condos were given to him by his brother Epstein, as well as the mansion that Les Wexner gave to Epstein. He gave that to his brother as well. Keep on moving forward, you guys. They said Jeffrey's brother said he had dirt on people. Epstein's brother claims that the disgraced financier was not, that did not commit suicide. He basically was taken up out of here, you guys. That's what he basically say about his brother. He said he did not commit suicide. He basically was taken up out of here.
Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark. He believes his brother did not take his own life in the Metropolitan Correction Center in New York, that in fact he was killed. I asked him about when Jeffrey first told him he was accused of the sex crimes he was later convicted of.
Well, the first time he told me he was getting in trouble, that was back in 2006. He asked me to come talk to him. We were both in New York at the time. And he told me he was getting into trouble because he was with girls that were too young. He said he was stupid. You know, he realized he was stupid. And he wanted me to hear it from him as opposed to, you know, on the news or something.
What was your reaction when he told you?
Well, yeah, I was surprised. I didn't really say much because what's to say? I mean, he told me what was going on and I just accepted that. And, you know, I knew whatever he did. I believe in, even though he's my brother, I always believe in, consequences and ramifications for your actions. So if he was going to get in trouble, he was going to have to deal with it.
And so what do you think happened to him then? He was arrested, he was in prison, and then he died. What do you think happened to him?
Well, when I first heard that he was dead, in the government report, it said that they notified me. They didn't notify me. I heard it on CNN, and it said Jeffrey Epstein was found dead from an apparent suicide, in his cell. I think, I had no reason to doubt it. I thought he decided to take himself out. I wasn't keeping track of, his case on a daily basis, but I knew that he was facing a potentially long term in jail, and I know he wouldn't want to live that way. So I just assumed, okay, there was no reason to doubt it. He took himself out, and I respected that decision. But then the next day, I had to go back to New York early to identify his body because I'm the next of kin. And then they did an autopsy, which they always do. And they both came out of the autopsy saying they couldn't call it a suicide because it looked too much like a homicide.
All right, y'all. That's it, y'all. Y'all hear what he said. They're saying it by the actual people that took the autopsy, that they don't think that it was a suicide. But that's where we're going to leave it on, and we're going to keep on moving forward. We got to go to Florida right now because we got 2 children that are no longer with us after this Miami boat collision, you guys. And it's a sad situation. We got this story. I think Liberty sent this in. One of our co-hosts alley-ooped this story. We want to make sure we get it out.
This is the moment a picturesque day at a children's sailing camp turned to tragedy in South Florida. You say a barge struck 5 children and an adult this morning in East Biscayne Bay. Surveillance footage obtained exclusively by NBC News shows the barge toppling the much smaller vessel. The U.S. Coast Guard says all 6 people were recovered, but a 7-year-old girl and a 13-year-old girl both died.
I've never seen so many ambulances, dive rescue. I couldn't even barely walk. It was so crowded.
The horrific crash sparking a massive response. Divers and police boats swarming. The barge carrying a crane sitting in the water for hours. Tonight, the Miami Yacht Club telling NBC News the sailboat was from its Youth Sailing Foundation summer camp, a program for children ages 7 to 15. The club writing it's devastated by this terrible tragedy.
That's right, you guys. That was a terrible tragedy. This was 2 days ago. I want to thank our co-host for sending this story in. Terrible, tragic event. Definitely want to pray for the souls of everyone that lost their lives. Please bring strength and resolve to the families as well as all of the friends and people that were part of this tragic event. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen, you guys. We got to keep moving forward. We're going over to Fair Oaks. We got a good video right here. We got a video of an abduction. It's not, I said a good video, then I came behind it and I said abduction. You know why I said it's good? It's good because the man got arrested with those one-size-fits-all silver bracelets. Silver bracelets, they're one-size-fits-all for everybody. That's right, you guys. He thought he was getting away with the little girl because she wandered out of the play area because the dad was attending to the other children. Guess what? He walked right into the mama in the next store. Come on, y'all, let's go. This is a great story right here. It starts off pretty tragic, but I love the way it ends.
Now we have some new video tonight of some terrifying moments for a local family when their toddler was abducted in the Fair Oaks Mall. It's a story News 4 told you about last week. Fairfax County Police are sharing this new surveillance video. It shows the suspect walk into a children's play area, and moments later, a little girl walked out. Watch closely. He followed shortly behind her and casually picked her up. He walked out of view and into a nearby store with the little girl in his. News 4 obtained a criminal complaint. It said the girl's father was in the play area with her sibling and didn't realize she'd walked out. Her mother actually happened to be in the store the suspect wandered into. She noticed the man with a child, confronted him, and he gave the girl up and took off. Fairfax County Police eventually arrested him. His name is Andreas Caceres Jalden. Police Chief Kevin Davis joins me now to talk a little bit more about this case and this new video. Chief, thank you so much for being here. To watch that video, it is frightening. A parent, grandparent, anybody, when you see that, it's really, really chilling. We did some counting here, and there were just 22 seconds from the time the child left the play area to the time that man actually picked her up and started to walk away. Why is it so important for you guys to make sure that the public is seeing this video?
Well, beyond the immediacy of this really scary event, and thankfully we arrested him that day, the perpetrator. But imagine Fair Oaks Mall is like any other mall, and the perpetrator, when he picked her up, he could have gone in 4 different directions. If he didn't go in the direction of the store where the mom was, so she saw him, God knows what would have happened. So we share this not to alarm people, but to make everyone realize that, yes, it can happen to anyone. It happens so very quickly.
Now, what about some vigilante justice? Let's give them to the civilians for about 30 minutes. Well, let's go 5 minutes, because we can do some serious work in 5 minutes. Give them to us for 5 minutes before you put the cuffs on them, Sheriff. Can you do that? Can you turn your head for a second? Boop, bap, boop, bap. Yeah, could you just let us put our hands on him a little bit for having the nerve and audacity to put his hands on that little angel? Don't even go there. We don't play those kinds of games. We do not play those games. Let's go over to the president real quick, because he has some information for us on Air Force One. Yes, we going long today, guys. I got time for it. I got to get the rest of these stories out. I ain't doing nothing else, so let's get
everybody. I hope you had a good time in beautiful Scotland. Did a lot.
Ease the suffering in Gaza and commit to a long-term solution that would deliver the two-state solution in the Middle East. Did you know that was coming?
No, we never discussed it, surprisingly. It was never really discussed. Maybe a little bit at the news conference, but he was sort of discussing it with you. We never did discuss it, and we have no view on that. We're going to get a lot of money to the area so they can get some food. He's going to also. I think the European Union is going to put up money for food, and hopefully it's going to be properly distributed, and it will be. I think it will be. We have some pretty good response on people for the distribution of the food.
We got a lot of starvation going on in other countries, you guys. Right now, we're trying to make this humanitarian event, but they're saying every time the food gets shipped, Hamas keep stealing it. So yeah, they're trying to send it over now with a little more protection. I got to keep going because now we got 40 men that have been arrested in a massive Florida child editor sting operation. This is a good one here, guys. Check this out.
During a 6-day sting, deputies posed as children were contacted by these men who range in age from 18 to 64, according to deputies. Channel 9's J.J. Burton joins us live from outside the sheriff's office. J.J., the Marion County Sheriff had an important message for parents.
Yeah, Sheriff Billy Woods says this is all very disturbing. He says, though, for parents, you should all be paying more attention to what your kids are doing on social media as well as on apps.
Down, get on the ground! Down! Get on the ground! Turn around! Turn around.
A video of just some of the 40 men arrested for allegedly trying to meet and have sex with 13 to 15-year-olds. One tried to drive off and ended up in a retention pond.
Good.
One crying right before being walked off in handcuffs. And Sheriff Billy Woods says all of these men use
40 creeps off the streets.
Social media and apps like Snapchat to talk to and set up meetings with people they thought were teens.
To put it in perspective, these vile individuals right here, these vile individuals, they showed up with condoms, cocaine, alcohol, and many other drugs for a child.
This investigation lasted 6 days.
This operation is at the top of the ladder of the worst operations that you really do not like working.
Marion County ran this investigation with the help of several other agencies, including AG James Uthmeyer's office. He says more arrests like these are coming.
For every day I'm Attorney General, we're going to be working minute by minute to capture as many of these guys as possible.
Good work.
And the sheriff, as well as the Attorney General, say that Snapchat was the big app used, and he says they both say they're going to be going after Snapchat to try to make this harder for criminals to get into with kids and teens. Reporting live in Marion County, I'm J.J. Burton, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now we got these truckers who got to watch out for their trucks because you got these new sorts of thugs that's running around. They wait for you to park your truck, they go up under it, and they steal the brain. They steal the brain.
Preyed on trucks that were left in short-term Hillsborough.
Now, where deputies have busted a ring of thieves who are ripping off hardworking truckers. They were Cuban nationals who drove to Central Florida from the Miami area, ripping off truck parts that rendered the trucks themselves pretty useless. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is live for us in Tampa to explain. So, Evan, what were they doing with these things?
Well, yeah, these thieves struck nearly 100 times and made it impossible for truckers to earn a living. They were looking for valuable parts to sell on the black market. Surveillance video shows thieves taking any means necessary to get under the hood of semi-trucks parked across Central Florida.
They could go under, over, break something, and they would do whatever it takes.
Sheriff Chronister says these 4 men, all Cuban nationals, stole 93 of these, the awkwardly named but super important engine control modules.
When the computer, that brain, has been removed, that tractor is inoperable.
They preyed on trucks that were left in short-term lots in Hillsborough, Polk, Lee, and Duval counties, while owners took downtime. When the truckers got back, they'd find there was no way to move their truck. Thus, their income went out the window.
I shudder to think about the value of the money that they've lost, that their families suffered that income.
The sheriff says the 4 thieves would sell them for between $3,000 and $10,000 to a fence in Texas, who would wipe them clean and flip them to another trucker whose own control board burned out.
Okay. So it's happening with all sorts of parts, all sorts of things, y'all. Just another thing I want to put you guys on to. That's right. We got some more, a little bit more. Let me get the rest of this stuff out. I know y'all probably got other stuff to do, but we going kind of long today. Do your boy a favor. Double tap that screen and get those likes up if y'all appreciate the content, because we got more. We going over to this drone arrest. That's what they needed for this situation right here. A drone arrest. This guy thought that he was being sneaky, getting inside of somebody's car, stealing something. He was being watched by a drone the whole time. And guess what they did? They coordinated with police on the ground and they got locked up and they ain't letting them out. They got those one-size-fits-all bracelets, y'all. Let's go on and get this story out right here. This is crazy. I love this one. San Francisco. And this is a drone right now. Now we got on April 11th, San Francisco police, a robbery taking place, a theft, a vehicle theft. Officers in real time investigated the center. They see this guy getting out. He's opening up the Mercedes truck door. He steals a bag, goes back into his car. The drone pilot watched the vehicle and coordinated with the police officers on the ground. He thought he was good. He thought he was safe. You see, he got his mask on. He's breaking the glass, going in there, stealing whatever they can get. He's going in there. That's right, y'all. Brazen, broad daylight. Stole a bag and another thing that was in there. All right, now he got into that car. They're driving off. Now watch this. He doesn't know he's being watched the entire time.
Police! Get down! Get down on the ground!
So I hope criminals know about this right here. So just in case you think you're getting away with stuff, you might be being watched by a drone, follow you all the way back to where you think that you're safe at. And next thing you know what? You get locked up and you run and you're gonna get charged. It was good. They broke that innocent person's window. Now that person got to spend all that money to get their car fixed. So now you know what? They got what they deserve. Y'all ever lose something and 5 years later y'all find it? You ever go into the closet and you put on a pair of pants and you find a $20 bill and you be like, whoa, nice 20. You ever do that? Well, imagine you're a mechanic and you discover somebody's wallet that's been inside the car since the car was put together. That's right, the man on the assembly line, he must have leaned over and he dropped his wallet inside of his car as he was putting it together. They searched over 2,000 cars and couldn't find it. His wallet wound up all the way in a whole nother state. Check this story out, how this wallet found its owner many years later.
As the owner of an auto repair shop,
replacing an HVAC motor,
there can't be much Chad Volk hasn't seen.
You never see everything.
As Chad just learned, again.
2015 Ford Edge.
Chad was replacing the cooling fan on this 11-year-old Ford. Pulled out this air bottle and learned the Ford hid a secret.
So my guess was sitting up in somewhere, just sitting there for the right move. That little hole right here. That's for the on top of that hole.
A wallet that puzzled the veteran mechanic.
I just sit down and go through this wallet.
Then pulled from inside the work ID of a Ford company employee. Chad went on Facebook.
Is this your wallet? First thing I said was, did you find it in a car? He's like, yes, I did.
Richard Guildford built Fords in Michigan.
I never wore sweatpants to work, but I did that day. And I had my wallet in my shirt pocket.
As he leaned over this car 11 years ago, the wallet popped out.
I checked and I'm like, Smitty, I lost my wallet. So we all went out and tried to look. You know, there was 2,000 cars out there and we couldn't find it.
So the wallet traveled the edge to a dealership in Arizona, then to Lake Crystal, Minnesota, and 150,000 miles later, to the repair shop of an honest mechanic.
That's the way I was raised.
Who walked the wallet 3 doors down to the post office.
There's nothing wrong with the money at all.
Every dollar present.
It's well-traveled currency.
Lottery tickets.
There's all the Cabela's cards.
And the $250 in gift cards Richard had planned to use to buy Christmas gifts for his kids.
How's it going, Richard?
How you doing?
Not bad, you?
Chad and Richard talking face to face for the first time.
I would have never figured in a million years that it would still be there.
I'm going to have to start digging through cars more often, I guess, in the engine bays, see if I can find some stuff.
2 car guys, uniquely bonded.
And I really, really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
By a wallet and a story.
All right, y'all. Yeah, y'all know how we do over here. We try to leave y'all with a whole bunch of love like this right here. We only know the love. We're going to send you guys up out of here the right way. We love animals. We love elephants. We love dogs. So we have our friend here, Baboon. He loves to come through town because they love them in India. They always feed them when they come through. They give them watermelon pieces and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, they love to walk through in the daytime and get fed these little treats by the different people in the neighborhood. They get to walk freely out there. Imagine having an elephant. That would be so cool. Imagine having your own elephant. You know what I'm saying? And they look up to elephants like they're very, like gods. They look at elephants like they're, they look up to them, respect them, take care of them. Everybody honors the elephant. They have like a lot of statues with elephants. They say elephant statues with the tusk up is good luck. I just think that the little one is cute. I like the little one. Yeah, I like animals, so whatever. That's right, I like animals. Call me what you want.
क्या छिटो दौडेको है आज त अब हान्छ हेरे भ्यायो भने अब हेर यसले
He just want more snacks. Look, he just want more snacks. He's like, I need more water now. That dog better get away from that. Mom's coming over there. It looks like they're always smiling. Why does it always look like elephants are smiling? Like they're smiling all the time. She's like, I don't want to leave. I want more snacks. Look, trying to go back. Woo, y'all know how we do over here with our bottom line. We got to make sure you guys are smiling, laughing, you know what I'm saying, thinking about something cool, because we go through a lot in these stories. We put a lot out, and we always want to make sure that you guys are leaving with a good feeling, because y'all know it is, right? Y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. This is going to be the last time that you can hit that subscribe button. Do your boy a favor, hit that like button if you guys appreciate the content that you guys saw today. That's why we're still number one. Not just me, all of us, myself as well as my co-host. This is our bottom line. We do this for an hour or so, or till we run out of clips. And with that being said, I know y'all want to make some money. Go ahead over to the description, hit that link. Y'all are going to be able to see some of those surveys. There's about $350 worth of surveys. You guys will make some money, and I will make some money too. Also, if you have a business, mobile detailer, you might be a barber, you could be a groomer, landscaper. I don't know what you're doing, but you know what I want you to do? Send over your promotions in a 1080 by 1080 post so that we can put it up in the post area so that everybody can see your post, and you can probably make some more money by advertising on our bottom line. And that's for free, you guys. We like to share the number. Just at gmail.com, and that's right, we're going to put it up and promote your business. Also, what we're going to be doing, we got the Show Your Talent search. We're looking for a location in Brooklyn, looking for a location in Staten Island, and we're going to finalize in Manhattan. This is the Show Your Talent search, where you can make $250 by coming to the locations that we tell you to. Show us your talent. It's not just singing, it's not just dancing, because talent is talent. You know how to do a wheelie? You can do a handstand. Well, guess what? You might be able to make $250. So stay tuned to the Show Your Talent search, to the next location. Myself and DJ Don Dada, we're going to pull up, and we're going to have a hell of a good time, and we're going to make sure we do a tasting. You guys are going to have fun, and somebody going to leave there with $250. Whoever the last person is that's going to win the finals, y'all see it right there. The finals winner will win the $250 from the location, and then we're going to have one last finals, but one person is going to win $1,000, right? Sponsored by Big Drip Heart Punch, and I'm the host. That's right, your boy BOOGOTTINYC. You guys already saw a couple events that we did. Myself, DJ Don Dada, formerly of Black Ink Crew. That's right, you guys. We turning up, and we not playing. Today is Thursday. One more day to the weekend. If you get off tomorrow and y'all got plans for the weekend, stay safe, stay calm. The heat wave is over, but guess what? That don't mean that we don't want to still make it to next week, because we don't live for the weekend. We live for longevity, because as long as God gives us the strength and the wherewithal to keep on moving, that's what we're going to do. Problems present opportunities. Don't think that just because you got a problem that's the end of the world. There is a solution. And guess what? As long as God makes us have the energy to wake up the next day to keep on pushing, to find a solution to that problem, that's what we're going to do. And that's how we look at that. Don't worry about nothing. Keep on moving forward. Drink your water. Stay healthy. You guys, I want to see y'all tomorrow. Until then, Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always tell you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that y'all came here to chill with me today, I appreciate you. So until tomorrow, 6 o'clock in the morning, we gonna do it again. Get 'em! One. Peace. Yeah.